Once again, we're back, my friend, to podcast.
It's like a sad Disney intro.
I'm sorry, I'm rusty. It's been like almost a month since we sat down to record a podcast, so
Yeah.
it's been quite a while.
I guess it has been a month, hasn't it?
Yeah. I tried like every attempt last week to get you to like record a podcast, and you were just like not having it.
Nah, don't put it on me. There's a couple of times where you were just like, nah.
No, that was at the very end.
There has
when you were
been-
like,
there's
we're going
been-
to get custard, and then we're going to try to watch this. And then I was like, well, I guess that means we're not doing a podcast.
See, you just give up on it.
But in the morning, I was like, I asked you like 4 times, hey, you ready to podcast? We can.
Yeah.
That's the response I got every time.
That's a response I've always given you.
No.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're like, yeah, let's go. Or, yeah, we can do that.
Really?
You were just very, it seemed like you were very apprehensive last week. Like, you were just like not wanting to do that at all. At all.
Mm-hmm.
You were not having it. You were like, and finally, like after a few hours, I was like, I don't have the energy now to like do it. And he obviously doesn't want to, so I'm not going to like just record a podcast that might not be very good because we're not even in it, you know? Like, if we're not going to be a part of it, like truly a part of it. Oh, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We got to start this off by, we need to take our headphones off. And then we need to take our hats off. And we're going to do a moment of silence because today is actually 9/11/2022. So it's the anniversary of 9/11, and just going to pay our respects real quick. Just a little moment of silence here. Little moment of silence just to show some respect for everyone who gave their lives that day for our country and everything, because that was a terrible, terrible occasion. Terrorist attack on our country, 9/11, 2001, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, quite a while. Actually, before we get into the rest of the meat and potatoes of this podcast, I kind of want to talk to you about what that day was like for you. Like, personally.
Oh, like me?
Yeah, like, do you remember it clearly? Like, what all was going on and everything? So, if I was in 3rd grade, you were in 2nd grade. Or, you know what?
Yeah, no, you're right. I was either in 2nd or 3rd grade.
No. You were in 3rd, I was in 4th.
I was in 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember exactly which grade, but I had the same teacher for both years.
Right.
But I was in Miss Godwin's class. And I remember that. So the plane went to, or hit the first tower, and then our teacher put it on the TV, you know,
Yeah.
in the corner, and saw the second one hit the second tower on live TV.
Yeah, so did I. It was crazy.
I think, and I remember everybody was getting checked out.
A lot of kids were, yeah.
I
in
didn't
high
get
school.
I didn't get checked out.
I didn't either.
Because Mama was doing something. I don't think she was working as a secretary yet.
My mom was a teacher, so she
Yeah.
didn't leave.
Yeah.
So I had to stay too.
Yeah. So Mama was there at school, so I didn't get checked out. I think my brother might have. I don't remember, but yeah.
It was very scary. I remember because
it was
like
weird.
So
Well, I knew something bad happened, but I didn't.
yeah, you get like at that age you don't
Comprehend,
fully understand
yeah.
what's going on
Yeah.
until people start talking, like adults start talking about it, and you just gather bits and pieces, and you're like, wow, okay. I remember being in 4th grade, and we had just gone to a bathroom break, whole class together, full class bathroom break. We go back into the room, and as we're going back into the room, the lights are off, the TV's on, and there's about 4 or 5 moms of students in the classroom that are standing there next to the teacher, and they're all just kind of like, you know, hand over mouth, like,
Oh, y'all had parents.
oh my gosh,
in there.
oh my god, yeah, parents had already showed up.
So we didn't have
And
parents
so-
come in.
I look at the TV because they're all staring at it, right? I look at the TV, and what it looks like is the stem of a tree or a trunk of a tree or a stem of a bush or something, and you know, all the leaves and then smoke. And I was like, why is that tree on fire? And why are we watching it? Because that's what it looked like in my
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
And then I look down and start reading the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look again and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a building.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of smoke.
Oh yeah, because we could read then. Yeah, I remember reading something about
plane crashes and
yeah.
And so we're sitting there and all of a sudden the second plane hits on TV and you just like everybody's oh my gosh, and it's just like it was so scary. And I remember looking at my buddy and I don't know why we had just been talking about some kind of wars and history and everything, and it kept saying like you didn't talk about wars and stuff in fourth grade, like Civil War and stuff like that.
I don't remember.
We talked about like Civil War, Revolutionary War, and stuff like that.
I don't think we got big into that until like middle school, maybe high school.
Yeah, Central. Yeah, across the road. They teach you a little bit later.
Yeah, that's right. Because fourth grade, their teachers had their bank account.
Bank account.
So and how to write checks and all that. You know, the stuff you really need in life.
Yeah. Hey, don't repeat history. All right.
Uh-huh.
So we were learning about wars and stuff. And so I turned to my buddy Bennett Steadwell, and we both look at each other when it says possible terrorist attack, and we go, "This means war. Like if this is true, we're going to go to war." And like that's all that kept going through my mind. So I was terrified because I was like, well, where else are they going to hit? What else is going to happen? Are they invading? Or like all this stuff was going through my mind because we were fresh on this war stuff, and so I was freaked out. I was like, what's going to happen when I go home? Are they going to come into our house? Like, are they going to get all of us?
Yeah. See, I remember towers, and I can't remember if I knew about it in that moment or if it was later, but I remember that they were talking about the Pentagon and the White House. Because the Pentagon got hit.
Yeah.
And then there was supposed to be a fourth plane that was supposed to fly into the White House that apparently didn't make it.
Yeah. The one that crashed down in Pennsylvania or something. Yeah. So that's the one that the passengers fought back and took control of the plane like as it was going down and everything, but ultimately saved a lot of other lives from not letting it reach its destination.
Right.
So they were heroes. But yeah, man, it was just a crazy day. I remember it being crazy and like just being kind of like nervous and on edge and scared, and like even just but life for us in Georgia, especially, it was still kind of normal that day. Like I went to school, went home like normal, and then mom took me to soccer practice that night like normal. Like nothing got canceled really. But I remember like the president talking, like George W. Bush was talking that night on the news and everything. I just remember like going to bed scared that night, kind of like
really.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, do we need to get guns? Like, do we need to get our guns ready? I remember like asking my dad, like, were we going to get the guns ready? And he was just like, it's going to be okay, son. You're going to go to bed. You're going to go to school tomorrow. Everything's fine. But, just doing like a parent's job.
Was there school the next day?
I believe so, yeah. Yes. Unless it was a Friday. I don't remember. But I remember, I think I had school the next day and then soccer practice and stuff again. So I just remember being like freaked out, not really knowing a lot about what was going on then, but just that our country was in turmoil and that a lot of people had died and that all this stuff was happening in New York. And I was just like, that's crazy, man. Like, I just can't believe it. But it's hard to believe that was such a long time ago now. It still feels so fresh on your mind every single year when 9/11 rolls around.
That was what, 21 years ago?
Yeah. I think so. 21, or is it 22?
22 with the,
21 years, right? Because it happened in 2001.
Right.
So, yeah, it was crazy, man. I know everybody in the country, if you were alive then, and even if you weren't, some way you were probably impacted like that. You either knew somebody that was in one of the World Trade Centers, or in one of the towers, or you knew somebody that knew somebody, or knew somebody that was related. So, I mean, it's just a small world, and that was something that really struck our country hard. So, definitely worth a talk on a day like today for sure. So, always remember, never forget 9/11. But we want to hop into what we normally kind of talk about on this podcast and everything. I had a really weird thought. I think it was the beginning of last week. Have you ever thought about nostalgic fragrances? Like fragrances, smells that you recognize from childhood, but you have no idea what the actual smell is, and you can't identify the source of the smell, but you can identify the place and time you smelled it last.
I don't know about that, but like as I'm working and I like pass, somewhere and I'll smell like kudzu or something, like a memory will pop up or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine's like I'll smell something in a grocery store or just anywhere, and it'll trigger like this smell that I remember smelling when I was a little kid getting a bubble bath. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's detergent that I'm smelling or
there is a smell that I will smell every once in a while, and it smells like my dad. I don't know if it smells like the soap that he uses,
or his cologne, or
aftershave, or what. And it's just like I'm out in the woods delivering packages, and then I'll randomly smell this smell.
My dad had a very distinct smell too, but it was because of his aftershave.
Yeah.
And I still have some of that like put away, so I kind of know exactly what that smell is. Yeah, there's just stuff like that though. Like I'll smell stuff like this is another one. There will be places that I go, different restaurants or different stores or anything like that, and I'll smell something, and it reminds me distinctly of the smell of the school cafeteria when I was in kindergarten and first grade.
Mm-hmm.
Only those 2 years though, because that was when I went to Sand Hill Elementary before I started going to Carrollton. So it's just a very distinct smell that pops in my mind, and I'm like, what is it though? Like, what is it that makes me smell that smell? Like, what is that relates that smell to that time and that place and that smell?
No.
But I just thought it was weird because I don't think we've ever talked about that on the podcast before. But I thought it was strange.
All right, so not connected to smells,
right?
But like when I'm delivering and I'll turn on a street, sometimes that will trigger like a memory. Like I learned or something when I was on this street delivering, or I've listened to this chapter of this podcast or whatever on this street.
I know what you're talking about.
Like for example, I turned on the street Friday, and I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, this is the street where my buddy Ryan told me he had a pet squirrel.
Yeah, pet squirrel. So since you have to turn on like a lot of the same streets a lot of the time to make deliveries and stuff, do you ever like catch yourself having like a little bit of like
deja vu?
Yeah, self-inflicted, not self-inflicted, but like when it was self-prophesized like deja vu. Like it's not actual deja vu, but it's kind of like, oh man, I've been here before. Of course I've been here before.
Well, I don't know about that, but there's been many times to where I'll be working super late at like 10, 30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'll be pulling up at a house delivering. And then there'll be times where the very next day at 9:15, 9:30, I'll go to that same house. I'm I feel like I just left here.
Yeah, it's like, that's weird. But what about real deja vu when you have those moments where you're like, oh my gosh,
I don't get deja vu as much as I used to.
I don't get it as much. I don't think
I kind of miss it because it was kind of
cool but creepy.
Yeah,
but
feeling.
I don't think I get it as much as I used to either. But it's not one of those things that like happens a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. It happens every now and then, and when you catch it, or maybe it happens all the time, and you just don't catch it every time. Yeah.
See, I always felt like deja vu was like
it's very specific,
a premonition of, or like a sneak peek into the future.
Yeah.
Instead of of thinking about the past. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're saying like time instead of since time is relative and everything, like time doesn't actually go. This is just like a theory.
It's not a timeline.
It's not a timeline, but it can go all over the place, and so those moments of deja vu is when it is looping into that same point in time again before or something like that.
Well, some people might say that it's a glitch in our programming.
Yeah, some people would say that. And that's a very interesting theory too. But I mean, either way, how crazy is it that there are certain little points in time in our life that where you can sit there and you acknowledge the fact that, oh my gosh, like this scene on this show was playing. It was this exact temperature outside. I was I'm pretty sure, because you never really know, I'm pretty sure I was wearing these clothes.
Mm-hmm.
That song was playing in the background, and that truck was driving by. That happened like a month and a half ago. I specifically remember that moment. And it's happening again right now. Is it a coincidence?
See, I never remember the specific moment.
It's deja vu is very specific for me.
See, for me, it's just like, I've been here before, I've done this, but I'm not sitting here thinking...
Okay. Well, sometimes it's like that for me, too. Sometimes it's a vague, but then sometimes it's very specific, and I'm just like, that. Those are the times that I'm like, dude, deja vu is for real, bro. That stuff happens. Like, whatever it is, something happens. I don't know if it's just something that triggers in your mind, like, this is such a familiar feeling that you just think it's deja vu, or if it's like, in your mind's playing tricks on itself, or if it's literally happening.
No, I'll tell you what's crazy is like you have a dream, you wake up, and it's kind of fuzzy, whatever.
Back into it.
But I've never been able to go back into a dream.
Never once? Dude, it happens to me sometimes, and like I wish I
don't know if I've ever had the same dream before.
That goes along with vivid dreaming. They say that when you dream like very vivid dreams, those are the dreams that you can, if you can fall back into another deep sleep, you can just like go back into that same dream. It's only happened to me a few times, but yeah. But what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, talking about being specific, having those vivid dreams.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that's crazy. You wake up and you can talk about, what you smelled, who you saw.
You have to write it down or try to like type it up in a note to like really keep it sharp though.
I've always thought about doing that, and I just never have done that. But I have like not a diary, but I have just a notepad right there at the nightstand. Just write it down,
or at least like just write down key points of things that you remember.
Yeah,
but maybe if it's not the whole dream.
Yeah, but I gotta be careful doing that, because if something ever were to happen and they ever come into my apartment or my house or whatever, and they just read all this stuff like Darby killed him or this day or
but
he did this.
That's why
it's a dream.
That's why you put in a big Sharpie bold on the front. Dream journal.
Yeah, dream journal.
But that's crazy because as the day progresses, you'll wake up and you're like, dude, that dream was crazy. And then like by the time I get to work, not even 2 hours later, I'm trying to piece it all back together to tell somebody about it. But then some of the details are foggy. Even up to
Have you ever had reoccurring dreams? Like the same dream over and over?
Yeah, more when I was a little kid though.
I've never had the same
nightmares.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. I've never had the same dream, but it's the same stuff happening in that dream. Like my biggest nightmare growing up was I try to move, and I cannot move.
It's like paralysis.
Yeah,
you're locked in your mind. You can't move your body.
Yeah. Like in my dream, I can't move. Now, what's scarier than that is when I'm waking up or I'm awake, and like I'm awake, well, kinda, and I'm trying to move my arm.
Yeah.
Like actually move my physical arm, and I can't. That's freaky, dude.
Mine is
I hate that.
Like that, but instead of like in the physical form of my body, I'm trapped in a place. Like I can't like get out. Like it's like my family's waiting in the car to leave for vacation,
and you can't leave the house.
I run back in because I say I forgot something.
Yeah.
But then once I get in, I think I have talked about this possibly once on here. But once I get in, I can't find a way to get back out, and stuff keeps holding me up. And sometimes it's not like I can't find the door or a window or anything to escape. It's like, and I got to do this, or and then this, and then I'll get a phone call and they're like, hey, you got to come into Zaxby's. And I'm like, I haven't worked at Zaxby's in almost 12 years. What do you mean?
Do you actually think that in the dream?
No.
I'm
just like, oh man, I gotta go. And then
like those situations, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I work at Zaxby's.
Stuff will keep. I don't know if that's a stress dream or something. Like I have too much on my plate, or what that means. But it's like all these things stack up against me to make it where I can't do what I'm supposed to be able to do, and leave. And that scares me, dude. It's terrifying. One time I had a dream that I was still in high school, also in college, also practicing football for the high school football team, and was working at Zaxby's and Publix at the same time.
Oh gosh!
And I had to juggle all of it,
and
I was missing stuff.
And then I'm not having high school dreams.
I had missed assignments. Had 2 online classes for the college stuff that I never did. I was freaking out, dude. And then I woke up and I was like, thank God I only have to go to work today. That's the only thing I got to worry about. Like, those dreams are insane, dude. They really mess with you, for sure.
Yeah. His nightmares are awful, but you know what's even worse for me?
What?
Is when you have a really nice dream. Like
Oh,
something
yeah.
good is
And
happening.
then you wake up and
you wake up and you're just
crap.
like, I gotta go to work
I
today.
know. It's like, dude, I was just on a yacht
Yeah.
in Maui,
Yeah.
and now
And then
here I am having, like, are you serious? Or like, have you ever had a dream where you just got off work and you're about to go do something, and then you wake up and then you got to go to work?
Oh,
That's
no.
a nightmare,
I
bro.
bet it is.
Even if it wasn't that bad of a dream, it's a nightmare when you wake up. Because you were like, dude, I just, in my mind and in like every part of my being, I just felt like I just put in 8 hours and now I'm getting to go home. Now you're telling me I gotta go do it again? That's almost like every other day. I mean, every day though, you know?
God.
You get off work, you're like, yeah, that was great. Get something to eat, pass out, wake up, and do it all over again.
Yeah, I ain't ever had those. Like, my worst dreams like that, though, is like having a nice dream and then waking up and then the reality just hitting you. I think I dreamed one time that I was on a very nice date with a very beautiful woman. And, you know, it was going nice, having dinner, talking, actually hitting it off. And then I think I'd, like, go to the bathroom or something. And then when I go into the bathroom, I wake up and I'm like, crap.
Dang, dude. She's not even real.
Yeah, she's not even
She's
real.
not even real. I'm going to reset this camera real quick. All right, back in action. Got the battery taken care of. Sometimes it's nice to be able to have to like change the battery every 30 minutes or reset the camera or change the battery or something like that, because it gives us an opportunity to take a breather for a second, regain our thoughts, and also like use the bathroom if we have to. So, I wanted to talk about Hunt a Killer.
Oh, okay.
So Cody, we talked about this a while back about what Hunt a Killer was. It's like a subscription box that they send you. I happened to subscribe to the 6-month package, and they send you a box a month, and basically it's a mystery Hunt a Killer like thriller box, and it's very interactive. They send you all this stuff. They send you clues. They send you this link that you go to, and you have options to like use technology, use your phone to like look up files and pictures and audio clips and stuff like that, along with all the stuff that they give you to try to solve this case. And the case takes, 6 months because they send you one box a month. And last box,
one case is 6 months?
Yeah, well, the way we did it, I don't know if you can do them shorter. There might be like a 3-month case or something like that. I'm not sure.
Don't you have another one waiting?
Yeah, I do. I have a whole other 6-month investigation to start.
Did you pay for that one?
Yeah, it's already like I already have it all though. That was the one that I paid for first. The Mallory Rock one that we did was the one that I accidentally didn't cancel the subscription.
Oh, okay.
So it is a little pricey, but it's fun. It was $165 for a 6-month subscription, which isn't too bad. But there's different difficulty levels, but the one that I picked,
You must have picked the hard one.
I don't know. I think there's way harder than what we
Really?
had. Yeah,
I
this
wanna
might have
say-
been the base level.
I'm going to tell you now, you're going to want a group.
Yeah, you want more than 2 people, and you definitely probably want to start earlier than we started because we were in the wee morning hours trying to investigate this
And
stuff.
then I hopped in, having no background.
He hopped in
no
about
clue.
halfway mark too,
Yeah.
so he didn't get to start from the beginning. But I did about three investigations by myself, and then Cody hopped in, and we did the last 3 together. But we had to use a lot of the hints and reveals on the app a lot because it was just so hard. We could not figure stuff out, and like we didn't want to, but there just like came a point where we exhausted.
It was some stuff to where you never would have thought.
Oh yeah, if we could have sat there for 24 hours brainstorming and never would have thought to do the stuff that it was like, hey, do this, hey,
Like, tilt this up.
yeah, tilt that
at
up,
90-degree angle, and then shine a light on it. And
There was one point where I'm not going to give any spoilers for the case or anything, but there was one point where we had to like take a star map and stand it up in the holes that were in the star map. We had to shine a flashlight on it to project an image.
But you still had to do that perfect.
Yeah, you had to do that. You had to figure out how to do it. You had to decode stuff. You had to use
And there's no hint.
like an alphabet and shift letters to be able to. It was crazy, but it was super fun. I mean, it's like Clue on steroids.
Yeah, but it's stuff to where you wouldn't have thought to do, like the code breaking.
No, I mean,
you never would have thought to count a certain number of whatever we had to count and then go back or forward in the alphabet.
Yeah, I mean,
break that code.
There were some difficult points, but if we would have spent more time and had more people working on certain parts of it at once, that wouldn't have been so hard. But you definitely, even if you don't use the reveals as much, you definitely need to use the hints because it'll definitely help guide your investigation better. But it's still fun to lay out all the evidence, lay out all the stuff that they send you because it's very in detail and it's pretty cool. Like the stuff that they did was cool, and they took the time.
Sending you like newsletters from this like town and
they sent you
like
like brochures, a full map of like the whole place, and it's a made up place, but it's in the actual it's in actual state of Maine and everything. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty neat. I'm looking forward to the other one too, but. We did it, and I just think it's something very interesting. If you're looking for something new and cool to do, like if y'all have like a game night or something with your friends, or like a party idea or something like that, and get the same friends over once a week or on the weekends or something, and just do one of these investigations, it's pretty fun. I definitely recommend possibly looking into Hunt a Killer. So I'm not sponsored, maybe one day, but pretty cool. I would definitely recommend doing that. Cody, we worked out today.
Yes.
Did you get a good workout in?
Yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah, I feel it.
I've been working out very consistently for the past week and a half. But before that, I had taken 3 weeks off from my fitness journey that I was so gung-ho about, eating and working out wise. So I didn't let it hit a month. And I was proud of that. I was like, I'm not going to let it hit a month before I get back into it. So I dove back in head first, and I thought maybe I'd burn myself out and not do well. But I've just been focusing more on the consistency over intensity instead of trying to do everything perfect as far as counting my calories, my macros, and hitting the exact rep range that I need to, or working out super hard every single day. I've been consistently tracking my calories, watching what I eat, making sure that I ask myself before I put stuff in my body, how's it going to make me feel? Taking note of when I do feel bad after I eat something so I know not to eat that again or eat that amount again. And then on top of that, just staying consistent in the gym. Just going to the gym, even if it's not every single day. I've taken rest days. I didn't work out yesterday. I did skip yesterday. I didn't work out. I ate well, but I didn't work out. I took it as a rest day, and then today I hit a pretty hard workout. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm going to try to aim to do now instead of just letting 5 and 6 days go by without doing anything and eating like crap. Just try to focus on the 80-20, man. Just 80-20 or 80% of the time, I'm going to do really, really good with my meals and my fitness. 20% of the time, I'm going to rest and eat good stuff, stuff that tastes good that might not be the best for you.
Yeah.
And then just stay consistent with that. And I think that everything else will fall into place after that. But just being mindful, mainly. Taking note of eating healthier and making sure I know how my body feels and reacts to that. Sounds like you're doing sandstone work.
Oh, that's what it sounds like.
Sounds weird. Sounds like you're doing some kind of metal work. All right. I want to go into some discussion would you rather questions if you're ready. Let's go. All right. Would you rather eat a piece of cake or eat a cookie?
Cookie.
I'm a cookie guy too, but it's got to be like a crumbly chocolate chip cookie. I don't like the soft and chewy.
Chewy?
No, I can't stand the soft and chewy.
It depends.
Chocolate chip.
For me, it depends on what the cookie is. If it's a peanut butter cookie, I want it chewy. If it's a chocolate chip, I want to do the medium.
I like all my cookies kind of crunchy, but that's because I love to pair it with a glass of milk. And those are the ones that soak up the milk.
Yeah, well, something better, yeah.
So those are what I like. But on top of that question, I want to go ahead and add that if I had the choice of a cake, cookie cake. I like cookie cake. It's not the same. I'd rather have a cookie, and I'd rather not have cake. But if
But
I
cookie
have
cakes,
a
I
cake,
do like cookie cakes.
I also like ice cream cake. Ice cream cake's good. Or mixing a scoop of ice cream with a good piece of cake. I like that too. I like that consistency.
I'm not going to say on this podcast that I've never had a ice cream cake. I just don't remember ever having
I'm sure
ice
you.
cream
I'm sure
cake.
you've had a slice somewhere along the way.
I had to somewhere, but
Everybody's at least had a taste somewhere, even if it was like a sample in a grocery store. Somebody's had it. Okay, would you rather eat a protein bar or drink a protein shake?
protein shake.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've always been protein shake, pro protein shake, but lately I've been messing around with some bars that I like pretty good.
I just don't like protein bars.
I like the Met RX bar. It's more of a meal replacement bar. It's cookies and cream. It's really good.
What's the Cliff bars? Are those like?
They market as health bars, but they're really not that healthy.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, they're not that. I mean, they're good. They're all right. I've had like the blueberry one and like a dark chocolate almond one.
Oh, I
and
had
stuff
the
like
brownie one.
Yeah,
and it was like during peak season, like during the winter.
yeah.
So-
oh, that's the one you said.
So during that time,
That's the one
my
you mentioned
heat-
in the last one where
Yeah.
you put it in the window.
Yeah, so my defrost stays on the entire time. So I threw it up there, just have it somewhere, and I forgot about it. And then towards the end of my day, I remembered I had that Cliff Bar, that brownie Cliff Bar,
Bacon.
on my dad's bacon all day. Opened it up, and I ate it. And it was like a fresh brownie right out of the oven.
Just
It was
baking that
great. It was so good.
I like, those Gatorade. You ever had one of the Gatorade protein bars?
Those are not good.
You don't like them?
No.
There was one of them, I don't remember which one it was, but there was one of them I really liked. It was like just, it had like the puffed rice in it. Well, most protein bars are. There's not really a big
bar fan.
There's not any like moist protein bars out there. Are some.
There was
but
one
like,
I had one time. I don't know what the brand was, but it was supposed to be like a lemon bar.
Power Crunch. Is it like
Maybe.
kind of like that, like the iced wafer bar?
I don't remember, but it's supposed to be like a lemon bar,
Yeah.
and it was so bad.
It might have been. Actually, that might have been.
I got it
Quest.
at like Walgreens or something.
Might have been a Quest protein bar.
Because I needed something to snack on.
Quest are really weird. Like they're kind of like a. I don't know how to describe it. They're kind of weird.
It's like a chewy, dry, chalky.
The best one that I've found most recently, it's from a company called Pure Protein. It's called
Okay.
Pure Protein, and it was the chocolate peanut butter one. And it had chocolate coating on the outside, peanut butter filling on the inside with a little caramel and peanuts. And it was basically a protein bar version of a Snickers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were phenomenal. Good amount of protein and very good flavor. And not like dry like what you're saying, like pretty moist.
Right.
Or at least as moist or as much as a Snickers bar would be.
Do you like those like bars? Those like it's got like what's that cereal?
What bars, Cody?
Like
Speak to me.
Rice Krispie, whatever that is, with maybe nuts on top.
The puffed
with
rice?
caramel. Yeah, puffed rice or whatever. And then it's got like maybe some almonds with some caramel and
I
chocolate.
mean, it's like granola bars.
Yeah.
Like
Like the only granola bar that I like really is just the plain
the Chewy brand.
Nature's Own.
Those.
That's
The
just
really dry ones,
that's,
like the
that's
crunchy?
just pretty much just oats in a bar, in
Yeah,
a thin bar.
those are those-
Those are the only ones I like.
Those are good. The honey and oat, just the plain
Yeah.
honey and oat in that green
The
package.
green, yeah. That's
Those are good.
the only ones I like. I don't like anything.
I like the
else.
Chewy brand, like the Quaker's Oats
I don't
Chewy.
like the Chewy brand.
I only like them, but they're not healthy at all. They're not healthy. It's
I'm
like
sure
a
they're
dessert or like a kid's snack type
Yeah.
thing, but they're all right. There's a lot of those bars out there that I've just haven't tried either, though, that I'd be willing to give a try. All right. Would you rather do HIIT cardio or LISS cardio?
I'm trying to explain that to me.
So HIIT cardio is high intensity interval training, and
Okay.
LISS is light steady state.
Oh, light, steady.
Light intensity steady state cardio.
That's me. I do that every day anyway.
So you'd rather put the treadmill like up on an incline and just do like a 2 to 3 mile per hour, just 30-40 minute walk?
Like a good speed walk. Yeah.
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 I'm a 50-50 guy. I like to like do like longer, more relaxing walks like that. But then when it comes to actually like burning calories and like getting the most bang for my buck, I like the HIIT stuff because
See, I don't like just walking or running.
Yeah.
But yet, like when it comes to like hiking a trail or something, you're going up hills and stuff like that, but you're not running.
More recreational than actual fitness.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
nice. That's nice too. I mean, if that would be my preferred method of lists, instead of, if it's not putting a screen in front of my face and just walking on the treadmill, then I would like to do something like that. But my HIIT cardio, I like getting on the elliptical and going as fast and as hard as I can at the highest level of resistance for about 30 seconds, as fast as I can, most power I can, 30 seconds, and then take it down to a very pleasurable, slow for 30 seconds, and then 30 seconds again as high as I can. So just interval training.
My sister-in-law, or soon-to-be sister-in-law, was saying something about doing that.
Yeah, it's the best for just fat loss, and it's a lot of HIIT workouts. It's HIIT cardio, but they're a lot of full body exercise, like battle ropes. Mm-hmm. You do those in intervals, like you say, you go as hard as you can for 35 seconds to 45 seconds, just as hard and as fast as you possibly can, as hard as your body can go. That would be interval training, high intensity interval training. So it's just proven to burn more fat and just kind of get that stuff off you faster. Mm-hmm. But you can do it either way. And there's a lot of debates between the two. So I don't really know what's what. All I know is that I like both of them pretty equally, and I just use both of them as tools.
Yeah.
It depends on how I feel that day. If I want to do a 30-minute walk on the treadmill and just kind of take it easy, or if I want to get it out of the way in 15 minutes and just go really, really hard and heavy. So, oh yeah, this isn't a would you rather technically, but this was just a question that popped in my head earlier. What was your favorite playground piece growing up as a kid? I'll go ahead and tell you mine. I have no idea what it's called, but it was that thing that it's kind of like monkey bars, but it was all over. It was this big dome that went over, and you could go through it and crawl in it, or you could use it and crawl up over it. It was this big dome that was opened up, but there were throat bubbles. They were little bars that you could climb.
I don't know if I remember that. I remember something, which I guess was just monkey bars, but instead of just being flat, it would kind of go up and down.
Yeah.
We had those. I mean, I always liked the, it's not a merry-go-round, but that thing.
Little thing you hop on, you get it going, and then you hop on it and spin.
But have you noticed that they're all gone now?
Because kids were getting hurt on them all the time, getting slung off, and then dumb babysitters and parents and stuff were putting their kids on there and spinning them so fast that they were flying off and getting hurt. It became a liability probably for the city. Who knows?
But a good fashion swing. I'm happy with a good fashion swing.
I remember being a kid and loving trying to swing as high as you could and
you
jump
out.
Off. Yeah,
dude, you could fly.
Yeah, I know. You could get some air. My buddy actually landed weird one time, and one of the wood chips that he landed on went right into his calf muscle, just stabbed into him.
Oh god.
Yeah, under the skin and everything. He had to get stitches or something.
Oh man.
It was crazy. I was like, you just got stabbed. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Would you rather be stung by a wasp or bit by a spider?
You got to go more in depth with the spider.
Okay. Well, I mean,
what kind of spider?
Well, what kind of wasp?
A wasp is a wasp. Yeah.
All right, so just think about a spider.
You have different species of spiders.
I get that, but okay, so
is it venomous or not?
Is it
deadly?
As much pain and as much damage as a wasp would do. That kind of spider. Because a wasp is going to sting, it's going to hurt, it's going to be an irritated spot for a while, but it's not going to kill you. So I'm not talking about brown recluse or black widow or anything like that. I'm just talking about just a spider that would bite you and it's going to be an irritating bite. But what would you rather have?
I don't know, man. Wasps.
Spiders freak me out a lot. A lot. But
I won't go with spider.
I got stung right between the eyes by a wasp when I was a little kid.
Really? My brother got I almost said stabbed. He got
stabbed by a bug.
He got stung one time. He was bush hogging, And I don't know if it was a wasp or a yellow jacket, but he got stung right there, right above his, I think it was his left eyebrow.
Swole up above.
And his whole eye was swollen shut.
Is he allergic?
No, he wasn't allergic.
Oh, really? It just swole that bad?
But the last time I got stung was a couple of years ago. I got out of the truck with the package, walked to the front door, and then dropped the package off, rang the doorbell, turned back around, took about 5 steps, and then I just saw a swarm of yellow jackets. I guess I had stepped on a hive.
Jeez.
Or a hole,
Yeah.
And they were everywhere. I saw the swarm all around my truck. I was like, crap. Took 2 steps walking backwards, pow, right in my calf. And that thing throbbed for the entire, for the rest of the day.
Jeez.
It was just throbbing all day.
I don't like getting stung by stuff. I remember, I was 5 years old running around on a playground, and this bee there was a wasp. It got right in front of me like this, hovering around. I moved this way, it followed my face. It was in attack mode. Mm-hmm. Followed my face, moved this way, followed my face, and then just went just right between the eyes, stung me. And I remember that was the first time I ever got stung, and I ran to my parents. And it was like, Mom, I got stung by something. And it was terrible. But then I remember we were riding horses with Devin's family one time, and his older cousin let Devin lead the way at one point. He's like, I want to go through these woods. And he's like, well, there's not a trail there. He's like, let's just cut through. So we followed Devin, which was a huge mistake at this point.
That's always a bad mistake.
And we followed him. Yeah, I mean, if you look back at the track record, hey, follow me.
The truck and
follow me to the
creek.
My truck can go through this pond, don't worry. But anyway, it's kind of the same deal, but on horses. Led us right through this giant yellow jacket's nest.
Oh,
and they started just swarming out, stinging the horses. I got bucked off a horse, got stung 2 or 3 times in my arms, and then we just all ran out of the woods. It was crazy, but we all could have got a lot more hurt from the horses too, or if they would have taken off and we got a clothesline by a branch or something. Mm. But that was crazy. But speaking of Devin, I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit when I was talking about spiders. We used to play in this hay barn on their property all the time. We'd go in there and play around. One time we had a paintball fight in there, which probably wasn't good for the hay, so I don't know. But this was years ago, so it can't hurt now. But we were in there and we were jumping around and stuff, and we kept talking about and teasing about how somebody's going to find a giant spider or a snake in all this hay. Mm-hmm. And we were like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? And they were these little places where the separation, where the hay bales were all stacked on top of each other up to the ceiling almost.
Well, right where something
separate, holes that go all the way down to the ground. But they're stacks to 5, 6 hay bales high. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's a deep hole, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we're all joking about it and everything, and Devin and Derek are up on this level, and Devin's like, I bet there's something down there, man. I bet there's something down there. There's got to be something down there. And Derek just looks at him and goes, and Devin's facing it, looking down, and Derek said, I don't know, Devin, find out. And he pushes him. Devin just falls and sinks in this hole, 5 hay bales high. He's down there, and he's screaming, hey, help, help, help. We had to take someone's belt off or something, or find a rope. I don't know what we did, but we got down there and lifted him something to where he could start trying to climb himself out. And I talked to him about it a couple weeks ago when I saw him, because we were looking down his well and looking down at how far it was and everything. And he said, yeah, remember that time I fell in that hole? And I was like, yeah, how was that? And he goes, well, it was actually extremely terrifying. And I was like, I bet it was. And he was like, he said, at first I was just there and I wasn't worried that much at all. But then I couldn't see. It was so dark and I was in this hole, and I started thinking about, okay, there are definitely spiders and snakes and stuff in here. He said snakes is what he started getting worried about and freaked out the most. Because think about it, we were talking about it for 30 plus minutes before that incident, teasing about there's snakes and spiders all in here. We know they're in here. It's where are they? He's in the hole that they're probably going to be in somewhere down there. So I mean, it was probably terrifying, but we got him out. He's fine. He's still alive to this day. So
me and Diddy, this was I guess it was last year or the beginning of this year. This was when we, or they went and cut all the treetops at my grandmother's,
Yeah.
And so there was these huge logs that me and Daddy for about 6 weeks straight. Every weekend we're up there splitting wood and stacking in our little shed. So anyways, there's this one trip that me and Daddy went to do stack the newly split wood in this little shack, and I guess my granddad put 5 sheets of 10 on the floor.
Yeah.
So we're standing there, and Daddy's standing on this piece of 10. Next thing I know, I see this 5 foot long, I don't know if it was a chicken snake or what. I mean, it had to be a chicken snake, but that thing was about that big around. That's huge.
That's crazy.
And I don't do snakes, but
I don't like them even if they're not poisonous. I don't like them.
Which I'm 99.9% sure he wasn't poisonous.
By nature, just the way they move and the way they look, and like just biblically, like they're just scary.
The Bible ruined
the serpent.
All snakes for Christians and Jews.
And you know what? There's a whole bunch of people out there that love snakes. There's one more story I'm going to tell you about Devin real quick, when I went to see Devin for the first time in a long time, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. But basically, he had goats, right? And something happened to one of them. He used to have to give them shots and stuff when they were little, but now they just feed off the land and everything. Well, one of them,
give them shots.
Yeah, shots when they were little, for
ticks and worms and
immunizations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now, at a certain point, I guess they just go off the feed and everything, and I don't know what else he has to do to take care of them. But he had goats, and one of them ended up getting worms really bad, and he tried to do everything he can to save it, but it was too late. I guess one of them died. Well, he told me that story a long time ago, and I completely forgot about one of his goats dying. So when I got there was one goat running around, and I was like, wow, cool. And then it got to the point where I looked at him one time and I said, so what do y'all call this one? And he was like, oh, he's Sully. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, dude. I was like Monsters Inc. And he was like, yeah, the kids named him Sully. It was Mike and Sully. And I went, oh, oh, yeah, it hit me. It hit me like a ton of rocks that, oh, dude, Mike died. Mike Wazowski, the goat. Not the monster, but the goat had passed away. And now instead of it being Mike and Sully, it's just Sully now. But it hit me like a ton of rocks. I forgot about one had died. And he was like, yeah, it's Sully. And then he looks at me and he was like, it was Mike and Sully. And I was like, oh. But, yeah, that's kind of, it's not funny, but it is funny. It's sad, but funny.
I which this really don't have nothing to do with that, but I still don't forgive you for the Charles is dead phone call.
So this dog that I used to dog sit, Cody used to come over sometimes while I was dog sitting this dog. Their names were Stuart and Charlie, but we started calling them Charles. Well, that's also the name of my uncle. And I called Cody one day while I was on break.
And he sounded so sad.
And I said, Cody, I got bad news.
Yeah, because he's given me these bad news calls before.
I said, Charles is dead. And he goes, Uncle Charles? He's dead? And I said, no, not Uncle Charles, the dog. Stuart and Charles. Charles died. And he was like, dude, don't do that. Don't do that, man.
I got so scared, man. I was like, no, not Uncle Charles.
Not Uncle Charles. Uncle Charles is an OG, man. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this one up. It's about 52 minutes long, something like that.
Oh,
but anyway.
already?
Yeah, we had 2 sessions. We're about to run out of camera time, so I guess I better wrap it up.
Oh, man.
But
you want a fun fact?
Yeah, hurry up. You got one?
Well, can you stall for about 15 seconds?
I don't know, man. We're on the clock. You got a few seconds, but you better hurry. You have to look one up? Why do you have to look one up every time? Don't you just know some fun stuff?
Okay, alligators can't stick out their tongues.
Oh, really? It's kind of a flat tongue, isn't it? Or no, I don't know. They just have a lot of teeth they can stick out. They can bite you with it. Well, there goes Cody's fun fact. You're not going to get teased by an alligator by sticking his tongue out at you. He's just going to come and bite you. He don't care about the teasing. So, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you listened to the full episode, you're an OG. Please go to the Gavin Lamb TV YouTube channel and check out this playlist if you want to watch this podcast. And just thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Until next time, much love, faith, wisdom, and peace out.